Women will soon rule the world. I see the world through the lens of sport. To me, sport encapsulates most activities in life because in human existence, everything is interconnected. If the above makes sense, it follows that sport cannot be an activity in isolation. It is connected to health, to science, technology, engineering, media, governance, education, town planning, politics, diplomacy, culture, fashion, tourism, even music and dance, and so on and so forth. I live it, and in my experience, I see a place for sport in every aspect of my life, just as my friend Tunde Kilani, filmmaker and cinematographer, tells me how he also sees all of life through his camera lenses. So, I'm looking through my sports prism and observing Nigeria. What I see now excites me. The past 3 weeks throw some light. For cultural and religious reasons, we debar or limit the participation of our women in certain social and even political activities. Some of the excuses I heard, particularly in my growing up years in the north of Nigeria, are that those mostly physical activities, including sports, take away women's femininity, whatever that means. That the woman develops muscles and no longer looks beautiful. That her place is in the kitchen. That she loses ability to bear children. That she has to cultivate male behavior in order to succeed. Of course, there are also religious and cultural reasons that sounded nonsensical even to a kid like me. For over half a century since I left Jos and came to live in the more liberal part of Nigeria, where women have slightly more opportunities as a result of Western education and some local traditions that embrace women's limited participation in some social activities. I have found it shocking that we still continue to limit women's full participation in some areas and therefore limit their contribution to the advancement of home, society, and humanity. Whereas the evidence has always been before us that they can do as well, if not even better, than men in several fields. In sport, an area still considered a taboo for women in some parts of the country, unfortunately, the evidence is all around us also that given the opportunity of participation, even with little encouragement or support, the women have always attained standards and levels that the men struggle to attain. From Modupe Oshikoya to Ethel Jacks to Falila Tugunkoya, Mary Onyali, Chioma Ajunwa, Toby Amushan, to the women's national handball, football, and basketball teams in the past 3 decades. The records and statistics speak volumes. These are women that have attained the highest levels in sports in the world with little support and little encouragement. There are more of them in other fields. Now, beneath the clang of despair, economic hardship, and the threats of political cataclysm, in sport, I have started to hear some loud grunting. A giant is being slowly aroused from a long and deep sleep. For those that can set aside prejudices, sheath the swords of negativity, and clear their misty eyes. With the happenings of the past 3 weeks in Nigerian sports, I believe they would have started to see the faint outlines of something new enveloping the country, throwing up the issue of Nigerian women and what they can bring to the table of development of the country. I saw it in the dance steps of Nigerians as they wiggled their waists to the pulsating beats of some of the best and most followed dancehall music in the world today, Afrobeats. In the theaters of sports, Nigerian women's teams are demonstrating to the world the will to win, how to fight to the finish, the do or die and never give up spirit. All attitudes and characteristics that define the typical Nigerian: loud, aggressive, confident, proud, unafraid, assertive, resilient, and a winner in any endeavor. Twice in the past 3 weeks, Nigerian female athletes have put up performances that made the country to open up its treasury to reward them lavishly. In Rabat, Morocco, the Falcons, the national women's football team, rose from the brink of defeat to snatch victory away from the Lionesses of Morocco in a dramatic, suspenseful, and unforgettable match. The country had not fully recovered from the celebration of that magnificent team when the women's national basket team, the Tigress, inspired by the achievement of the Falcons and driven by the unprecedented rewards showered on their football counterparts, tore apart all opposition on their path to the Afro Basketball Championships in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. They retained their crown as African champions for the 5th time in a row. The victories by both national teams were not for the first time. They could easily have been considered routine and treated as the previous victories. 10 at 12 finals in football and all the last 5 in basketball, without any fanfare, serious acknowledgement, or rewards. But coming at a time that they did, and in the manner that they came, became reminders of the place and importance of women in Nigerian sports and even beyond it. I am happy that the government saw beyond the Pyrrhic victories and set new standards of appreciating athletes and a new compass for success into the future. Rewarding Nigerians that succeed in their different fields of endeavor will never be taken for granted anymore. A benchmark has been set. It cannot suffer reversal anymore. Even more significant is that the women have become the most rewarded athletes in African sports history. That throws up a useful challenge for all girls as we enter a new era in Nigerian sport. A new carrot has been dangled before them. It is a tonic that will cure all previous ailments. All the prejudices of the past, all the stigmas, all the religious and cultural taboos have all been demystified and thrown into the dustbin of the past. New vistas are now open and possibilities born. I foresee an explosion of young girls setting off across the country with balls at their feet or in their hands, chasing the dream of success in football or basketball. I hope the infection will spread to other sports and other spheres of life, because given the space, the opportunity, and essential support, Nigerian women would do to the polity what men have been struggling to do since independence. If you look closely enough at Nigerian women, you will see, as I have through my sports lenses, that it is all in their genes. in their character and in their stars to shine and to win. Nigerian girls will rule the world long before the men and champion the cause of Nigeria in an imagined new world order. Nigerians can also now neglect, limit, debar, or disregard their women in the polity at their own risk.